Welcome to Business Casual, where entrepreneurs find inspiration to start and grow their online business. Today, I'm talking to Dani Zoldan, the owner of the iconic comedy club, Stand Up New York. And today we're talking about how he uses social media and technology to expand to a wide audience well beyond these New York walls. Let's head in. Dani, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. So let's kick it off. Let's start talking about you. Did you always want to be an entrepreneur?
Not really, probably since I was 19 years old.
Okay, what shifted at that age?
Well, from 0 to 19, I really had zero direction. Mm-hmm. I was bottom of the class, had no drive, terrible grades, sat in back of the class, didn't know what I wanted to do for a living, didn't know what college I was going to when I was in high school. And then when I was 19, I had a business idea. And it was an idea for an online music company. It was called Eargasmic.com, E-A-R-G-A-Z-M-I-C.
Eargasmic.
Eargasmic.com. Okay. And it was a website for independent bands to distribute and promote their music and sell their music. And that was really the first idea that I've ever had. And it was just such a thrilling feeling that hasn't gone away, and I'm 37 now.
Fantastic. So you had the idea for Eargasm. You kind of got the entrepreneurial bug.
Eargasmic.
Eargasmic.
Not Eargasm.
Oh, okay.
I've heard that before. Oh.
So why Stand Up New York? Like, you bought this in 2008.
End of 2008.
What was your connection to this place?
A good friend of mine that I went to high school with, I met him in 9th grade, was an aspiring comedian. I used to see him perform at comedy clubs around the city, including here at Stand Up New York. And when I saw the club was for sale, I called Gabe, like, hey dude, I used to see you, when we were in high school, it's for sale, let's buy it. And I was living around the corner at the time. Yeah. Gabe lives up a few blocks away. And we just jumped in, we were 27 years old. We didn't know what we were doing.
So let's talk about the business side. You bought it in 2008, and I understand in 10 months you 3x'd the business. Can you give us maybe 3 tactics that you employed that helped you see that kind of growth?
Sure. Well, one, we renovated the space. So this club has been around for 32 years, since 1986. And when we walked in and bought the place, it was just a disgusting, dive bar. Mm-hmm. We wanted to make sure people just had a better experience coming here, so that was one thing that helped. We actually relied heavily on a street team. Do you know what that is?
No.
You ever walk through Times Square and people harass you? Like, hey, you like comedy?
Yes.
Do you want to buy tickets to a comedy club? So we actually built up an army of street promoters.
Cool. In
Times Square. So we really ruled Times Square. We had 30 promoters out there, and they would pump in 1,000 people a week here. And then third, I think just maximizing just drink revenue. Mm-hmm. Just making sure, the right margins are there, obviously, making sure we serve the right drinks, providing good service, keeping the bar open after shows.
Obviously, having a comedy club, brick and mortar comedy club, is a very hyper-local business. But you've done a lot to kind of leverage technology and the internet to grow other businesses and drive traffic here. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So Stand Up New York Labs, that's our comedy podcast network that we launched 6 years ago. And we have 2 podcast studios. And it started off really not as a business. It was when comedians were launching they just started launching their own podcasts, recording in their studio apartment in New York City. And we had the space right above the club. It used to be an old theater that we just converted to a podcast studio. So we just invited the comics, hey, why don't you just record your podcast here? And then just more and more podcasters, would come here and utilize our space. And it really turned into an incubator. So we would give them the space, we had equipment, you then provided them an engineer. And then we formed a business out of that called Stand Up New York Labs. And then we brought on a company called Cadence 13, who invested in our network, and they ad repped us also, so we're able to monetize.
And you also have Skittish, right, which is your media company?
Skittish Media we formed 2 years ago, and we leveraged the comics to create funny viral video content for brands and agencies.
So you also have an online course called
The Tight Five. Yes, and that's under a new division that we launched called Stand Up New York Education.
Okay.
And it's the first of hopefully many courses that we'll launch revolved around comedy.
So what is the Tight Five all about? And how did you come up with that idea?
So it's a 20 video course curriculum taught by 7 pro comics. The ultimate goal is to be able to get to their best 5 minutes of material and perform at an open mic. So like we're not promising, yeah, you're gonna get booked at, you know, a club. Like,
right.
Yeah, you're gonna get a Netflix special. No, it's like we're gonna teach you how to get to your best 5 minutes of material.
Let's talk about those contributors. How did you go about finding people? I mean, you have comments from Netflix, HBO, Comedy Central. In your course, how did you go about getting those contributors, and were they compensated at all? And if so, how?
We have a database of comics,
Yeah.
Hundreds of comics, of pro comics that are in our database. And I chose people, A, that I liked, and obviously comics that I thought would be good, like teachers also.
Fantastic.
So
and
were
were they compensated to be a part of it?
Yes, so we gave them a fixed fee to be in the video, and it was probably an hour of their time. We shot it all in one day here at the club,
Mm-hmm.
and then we gave them each a percentage of revenue from the course.
Nice. And you made it easy kind of on them because you're just asking questions. They didn't have to prepare anything really.
You know, we sent a couple days before, we sent them the questions. Again, we shot each comic for about an hour, and it was easy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So let's talk about pricing. What was the price point for the course, and how did you go about deciding what to price it at?
So, what's so funny about that question? Such a funny question. So we launched with a founding member rate of $147. So we do open mic here, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. And we've been building up a list of aspiring comics for the past 10 years. So we just wanted to offer the course to them first. And we launched it at $147 for about a month, and then we raised the price to $187.
Well, let's talk about the list and how you got the course out there, because I feel like a lot of people think that the hard work goes into putting the content in the course, but the hardest part is really just like spreading the word.
Yeah, this was the first course that I launched. The easiest part was the content. The launch was actually pretty easy also, because we knew we were just launching the course to our list of open mic comics, and we've been building this database of open mic comics for the past 10 years. For a month, we just sent them educational emails, just nurture emails.
Okay.
That came from me.
Leading up to the launch,
Yeah.
you like just started talking to them more.
Yeah, we didn't even, we sent them 10 or 15 emails over a month, just educating them about stand-up, without even mentioning the course.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how important that was until after we sent out the first email. I think the subject was like, keep getting up there. So just encouraging comics to just keep getting up on stage. That's the only way you're gonna get better as a stand-up comic. And I was shocked to see how many comics responded to that. I wasn't expecting anyone to respond. I thought we were just sending out an email blast, they would read it and move on. I probably got 30 responses like right away.
Wow.
Just, Dani, thanks so much for sending me this email. Like, I needed encouragement like this to like get out and go up on stage more.
Wow.
So we received a ton of emails just from comics appreciating the content. And then for a month, we sent similar type advice emails. And then we teased the course to them. You know, we announced that we've been working on something for a while. We're very excited to share with you. And then a few days later, we sent them the trailer. And then we told them we're launching this course, and we want to give them a founding member rate of 147. And it was a really successful launch. I think the hardest part is after that launch, it's sort of like sales just like dropped.
Yeah.
Like I was already planning like a vacation, you know, like where to get a second home. And then, cause like, it was like a toll. Like when we launched, like I would just get like a notification on my phone every time someone bought the course. Yeah. It was like an amazing feeling every like 5 minutes, like 147. I remember I was with my friend Dan and I'm like, I'm going to buy lunch today.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, it was amazing. But then the hard work starts after the launch, figuring out how to maintain that momentum and get people to keep buying the course.
Right. So what's next for you? You have another course in the works? What are you creating now?
I have ideas for additional courses, such as how to get into comedy writing. A lot of our stand-up comics, they're comedy writers, so they write for late night, they write for SNL, they write for Daily Show. So we can use them as instructors to teach that type of course. We've also launched a lot of successful comedy podcasts, so we love to launch a course on podcasting. So I think it's just staying within the comedy arena and just leveraging the talent that we have and using them as instructors.
Awesome, exciting. I look forward to that comedy writing one. I'm going to look out for
that.
Oh
yeah?
one.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Send
Cool.
you a coupon code.
All right, thank you.
100% off.
Excellent. Well, it was awesome being here. So good talking to you. I think our viewers are really going to love everything that you had to say.
Awesome.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Business Casual, the show where entrepreneurs find inspiration to start and grow their online business. And if you're not subscribed to the GrowthLab channel, make sure you click that subscribe button below so that you don't miss our next weekly interview. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.